roaming freely over her naked back. Anas made me want to burst in with fists flailing, but I had only taken one step towards them when his friend tapped him hard on the shoulder. "Attention, Francois," I heard him say urgently. "Husband, he's still here." The bastard slowly let go of my wife and turned to me, grinning. "Raymond, monsieur," he told me, stepping back from her and bowing theatrically. It was only then that my dear loving wife realized I was standing there. "John," she muttered, raising her hand to her mouth, "what are you doing over there?" "I mean, I was just coming back to you." "You didn't have to look for me, darling." "Oh yeah? I'll just go away for a while, see you in a little while." "Isn't that what you told me when you left? You didn't mention anything about letting two French guys have you while I waited, did you?" "Have me?" June screamed. "They didn't touch me, John, I promise you." "So what have you been doing with them on the damn pontoon all this time?" I challenged her. "I'm just saying, John, I swear to you," she pleaded. "All we did was talk and stuff. And I assume you had to take off your bikini bottom to have this innocent conversation?" I challenged her. "Oh crap," June cried, apparently remembering for the first time that she had stood and argued with me completely naked, only just becoming aware of the fact that a small, mostly male crowd had gathered to watch our mutual embarrassment. "Where are you, stupid bastards?" June growled at the two frogs, extending one hand towards them as she quickly used the other to try and cover herself. They didn't say anything, just grinned back at her. If it weren't so disgusting to see, it could almost be funny. "Where's my damn bikini?" she shouted to them, attracting even more attention from those around her. More and more people stopped to watch the fun. "Me, June," I finally said, by which time you could see her blush showing through her tan. "Thank God, John," she breathed, taking a step towards me. "Please give it to me, darling." "If you want it, go get it, I muttered through clenched teeth and turned around gloomily, heading back to the beach to the place where we left our things, expecting that at any moment she would grab my hand or something like that. But she didn't. Turning around, I saw that there was some sort of argument going on as the two Frenchmen seemed to be trying to convince her to go with them, and a couple of women who were in the crowd around us seemed to be advising her otherwise. To hell with it. After gathering up every single one of our things, I prepared to leave the beach, turning around to see if June was following me, only to see that the argument was still going on and June was still completely naked. To hell with it. If it took her so long to decide whether to go with me or not, then I would leave without her. So I did, although I only reached the trees that bordered the beach and stopped. The magnitude of what had just happened finally caught up with me like a train, and I sank to the ground by the tree, emotionally exhausted. Is this the end of my marriage that has barely begun? What the hell am I going to tell Tom and Brenda? "Don't worry about me, I'll be back soon." That's what she said. What a farce. I sat there feeling like a zombie, noticing June at the last moment as she walked up to where we had been sunbathing earlier, barely covered by a small towel, probably borrowed from one of those women who seemed to be trying to talk her into something. June stopped and looked around, her face a picture of amazement when she realized that I had left and not taken her with me. I watched as she looked around, her panic clearly rising when she couldn't see me, asking another couple nearby if they had seen me. They saw, of course, but they pointed her in a completely different direction, which must have confused her even more since she just stood there with her mouth wide open. I could help her, and maybe I should. I could have screamed, but I didn't. I just sat there enjoying my pathetic revenge. Eventually, June's shoulders sagged, and with tears in her eyes, she headed back down the beach. She might have gone looking for the French, but I was so angry that I didn't care. I didn't care at all. June disappeared from sight, a pitiful lonely figure, and I headed back to our hotel, wondering how long it would take for her to return. I wonder what she will say when she returns. I wonder how much she will cry and sob. 2 hours later, I calmed down. I can't say I was happy, but I calmed down. Maybe it was stupid to let her go again like that, but I did it, so be it. Another hour, no June, and it was time for dinner, but I couldn't bring myself to go to the hotel restaurant alone, so I headed into town. There, I found a bar, and mostly forgot about dinner. The local beer turned out to be a quite worthy substitute for food. 3 or 4 more beers over the limit, and I left the bar, staggering down the street back to our hotel, debating with myself whether I wanted June there waiting for me or not. What would I say? What would she say? Then I noticed a fight up ahead, and there was June and her 2 bastards standing in the middle of the road, making one hell of a scene. The 3 of them were screaming and yelling at each other at the top of their lungs, June in a very, very short dress that I had never seen before. While I was watching, a van pulled up, and 2 gendarmes jumped out and tried to calm them down. I think in most countries it is not customary to hit a police officer in the face, and France is no exception. First June, and then her 2 friends were unceremoniously shoved into the back of the van as it sped away with the siren blaring. Well, damn, that was unexpected. Walking slowly back to the hotel, I didn't know what to do. Go free her, maybe, or just leave it there. Well, what would you do if you were me? It took me an hour to decide, which wasn't such a bad idea since it gave the beer time to dry out. In the end, I persuaded the concierge to call the gendarmerie on my behalf, making up some story. They let her go, monsieur, the concierge told me with contempt, hanging up the phone. No doubt she's heading this way, I agreed, although I was not so sure. I wasn't sure of anything anymore. Well, she wasn't back by the time I went to bed, and I tossed and turned all night, wondering where the hell she could be. The sun rose, and she was still not there. Shower, then breakfast, and still no wife. By then, I had to go back to our room and start packing. Remember those lonely times when you were packing your things at the end of your school or university year? Everyone has left, and you are the last one left, and you have never felt so alone. We were never sure that life would be this much fun again. This is nothing compared to how I felt when I packed my things into my suitcase. My things were packed, and I sat for a while wondering what to do with June's things. I couldn't just leave them there, but what should I do with them? Tears of despair and grief in my eyes, I slowly packed June's things too, resisting the urge to just throw them away. Damn it, I shouldn't have done this, not at the end of our honeymoon. Damn it, but where was June? I had no idea, but despite everything, deep down, I was worried. Could I really just abandon her in a foreign country? But what else could I do? Arriving at the airport an hour early, I looked around, hoping to see my wife waiting for me. There was no trace. I returned to the airport car park, started the Twingo, and returned the car to the rental company, then checked in for the flight back to Blighty. Where was she? What the hell do I do now? The lump in my bowels felt heavy, like a lead weight. Hello, John, darling. I turned around, and there she was, wearing the same ridiculously short dress.